Hi, I'm Robert Leverton once again. I'm one of the teachers here at Manpower in the Mastery in English program. This is the second in a series of podcasts on the English language. If you're lost or need to figure out how to get somewhere, this podcast can help you. Finding your way nowadays seems to be pretty easy with the use of technology. Turn on your smartphone, open a map app, and there you go. Easy directions from where you are to where you want to go. Some of the popular apps are Google Maps and Apple Maps. Plus, we have apps that will give you live directions, or directions that change as you move. One of the most popular is Waze. But what happens if your phone has no battery life left, or you're in a city where you don't have access to the internet? You'll need to ask someone for directions. What a scary thought, isn't it? It doesn't have to be so scary. Before we begin, since you can't see me or see the side that I'm pointing to, I want you to imagine a clock, an old-fashioned clock that has a round face and two hands on it, and the numbers 1 to 12 visible at all times. A digital clock wouldn't be that helpful here. When I discuss the vocabulary, I want you to keep in mind the clock, and I will use the numbers on the face of the clock to help you understand some of the prepositions that we commonly use to ask for and or give directions. Here we begin. Vocabulary. Let's listen to some common vocabulary terms that ESL students will need to give or ask for directions. Okay, in your mind, put the clock, please. Now, talking about left, look at the number 12 on the clock. It's at the top. To the left of number 12 is the number 11. So when someone tells you to turn left, or go left, or it's on your left side, you need to remember the clock and go to the direction to the number 11 from the number 12 position. Right. It's easy if you can remember what left means. It's the other way to go. Looking at the number 12 again on the clock, at the top, to the right of number 12 is the number 1. So when someone tells you to turn right, or go right, or it's on your right side, you need to remember the clock and go in the direction to number 1 from the number 12 position. To turn, this is moving, usually 90 degrees from your forward movement. If you're on the street and you're going forward or straight on that street, and you come to another street that cuts across the first street, think of the clock face again. If you were walking from number 6 to number 12, this is forward or straight ahead. The cross street would be a street going from number 9 to number 3. So to turn is to change direction from walking from the number 6 to the number 12, but then turning to walk towards the number 3, turning right, or towards the number 9, turning left. It sounds complicated, but it's not. Come to the Institute and talk to our representative to find out about seeing this in a classroom experience. Next to. There are several words for this, but the most common for me is next to. However, you can also use here besides, or to the left side or to the right side of something. Looking at the clock in your mind, again, imagine the number 3. Numbers 2 and 4 are next to number 3. Number 2 is to the left side of number 3, and number 4 is to the right side. Near, remember using this word, don't add a to. It is not near to. Near is when something is close to another thing. Close is not far. When giving and asking for directions, try to be more specific since far and near are relative to the person speaking. Close to. This preposition needs to use the word to. It is close to something else, not close. As in the word near, close is relative to the speaker's idea. I once, when I was 7, told my grandmother that a store was close to our house, so she decided to walk with me. 2 hours later, we still hadn't arrived. Here are some more vocabulary words. North. Looking at a compass, or the clock again, this would be the top part. South would be looking at the bottom part. North and south are opposites of each other. East, on a compass or clock, would be to the right side. West would be to the left side, as east and west are opposites. If you look at a map of the United States, California is on the west coast. New York on the east coast. Texas would be in the south, and Michigan or Montana would be to the north. Straight. This is moving in the direction that you face. Before. This is a place that is directly in front of another thing. Imagine the clock again. The number 1 is before number 2, but not before number 12. Behind. This is a place that is not before something else, but looking forward, it would be in the position to your back. The clock once again. If the clock was on the wall would be behind the clock. There are many other words, but these are enough to get you started. When you don't know the person or you're interrupting them, say excuse me before you ask a person. To make it sound like a question, make your voice go up on me. Excuse me, how can I get to the nearest metro station, please? Excuse me, where's the closest post office, please? Excuse me, I'm looking for the bus stop number PD 636, please. The following phrases are used when you're asking for directions from another person that you're talking to. For example, you have a meeting in their office, you can ask. In this case, it's not necessary to say excuse me, but remember to say please. How do I get to your office, please? Please, can you tell me the best way of getting to your office? What's the quickest way of getting to your office, please? And please, where are you exactly? Some examples for giving directions. The person who helps you often says how near or far the place is. It's about 5 minutes from here. It's about a 10-minute walk. Or it's easier if I show you on a map. You can use the following phrases when you reply to someone who's asking for directions. Will you be coming by car or by train? It's much easier if you take the train. Which hotel are you staying at? Another good thing to do is to use landmarks to help. Landmarks are points of reference and help the other person understand where to find you or where they're going. You'll see a large sign or a roundabout. On your left, you'll see an industrial park or a hospital or the police station, or just after passing the crosswalk or passing the mall or the shopping center. And finally, go past the gas station or the supermarket. A few final tips. If you're giving directions over the phone, remember to speak slowly to allow the other person to write things down. Check that the other person has understood. And if you're speaking face to face with someone, use your hands to show left, right, or straight on. Always use please when you ask someone to give you directions. It's polite and will normally get you what you want. For more information on this or other topics, check out the rest of the webpage and contact us. For more information, go to educacionmanpower.cl. That's educacionmanpower.cl. See you in the next podcast.